Welcome back to another video. Today we got some COD Daily. The left is getting what they deserve. Let's get into it.
The left are having a problem with free speech in America. And I mentioned on the stream yesterday, this is basically game theory. Specifically, it's the prisoner's dilemma that has been playing out in American politics and online and international politics for some time now. And the left have realized that actually, if they betray one side and don't uphold their side of the bargain, eventually through the iterative process of being stabbed in the back multiple times, the other side of the dilemma realize, well, actually, there's no point us upholding our side of the bargain, and so we're just going to do the same to them, and therefore everyone gets the negative consequence.
Yeah, or a taste of their own medicine, as I like to put it. I like here. The prisoner's dilemma is a game theory thought experiment involving two rational agents, each of whom can either cooperate for mutual benefits or betray their partner, defect, for individual gain. The dilemma arises from the fact that while defecting is irrational for each agent, cooperation yields a higher payoff for each. The puzzle was designed by Merrill Flood and Melvin Drescher in 1950 during their work at the Rand Corporation. They invited economist Armin Alchain and mathematician John Williams to play 100 rounds of the game, observing that Alchain and Williams often chose to cooperate. When asked about the results, John Nash remarked that rational behavior in the iterated version of the game can differ from that in a single round revision. This insight anticipated a key result in the game theory. Cooperation can emerge in repeated interactions, even in situations where it's not rational, if it's not rational in a one-off interaction. So essentially, instead of cooperating, the left constantly, plays the selfish game. They choose to, as it states right here, betray their partner for individual gain. But now that the right is doing the exact same thing because the right is trying to, be cooperative and they're just constantly getting screwed over, the right is now saying, all right, well, if that's how you're going to be, then we're just going to use the exact same things you've been doing to us against you.
So if you're not aware, the prisoner's dilemma is an old thought experiment in which two prisoners are in prison and there's not enough evidence to convict both of them. But if either one talks, then if one talks and the other doesn't, then that person goes free and the other person gets like 3 years in prison or whatever. And that happens on either side. If neither of them talk, they only get like the minimum sentence of like a year in prison or something like that. And if both of them talk, then they both get a high sentence, like 2 years in prison, something like that. And so the question is, do you stay silent or do you testify against the other person? And you don't know what the other person is going to do. So you run the risk of if you both testify against each other, then you're both going to jail. If you testify and the other guy doesn't, so you betray the confidence essentially, you'll benefit and that person won't. And if you both just accept it, you'll get the minimum possible penalty or punishment for what you're doing. And that basically has been the situation between the left and the right in public discourse on the subject of free speech. Yes.
Funny enough, you see this played a lot in media, especially in like cop shows where it's like one guy is staying silent and whatnot, and they catch two people and they try to get them to turn on each other essentially, but one guy is like staying utterly silent, but they'll skew it by having one prisoner, the other prisoner who they're trying to get him to betray, walk through the exact same walk through in front of the interrogation office with the door slightly open or like with a very big window, so that way they can see, and they'll see that the partner, let's say A is the one that they have in the interrogation room, they'll see the cops walking with B away, and they'll make it look like, B testified against them. So that way A has more incentive to testify against B. but it's always like a ploy. It's a strategy used to like make A think that B betrayed them, so that way A betrays B when B actually didn't betray A at all.
It kind of sucks if your opponents can just say whatever they want about you and about the things you believe, and it might hurt your feelings. You have to just kind of suck it up, and they've got to suck it up. But at the end of the day, it's better for everyone, and everyone gets the sort of minimum level of suffering. Or one person can decide, you know what? I know that guy's going to do the right thing and, maintain the proper perspective. And that means I can stab him in the back. That means I can get everything I want and he loses everything he has. And therefore, why wouldn't I do this? This is just me winning, right? And maybe in the single instance of that, that is a win for whoever betrays the confidence. But after the iterative process of decades now, about a decade of the left being completely against free speech in every way, the right is like, oh, right, okay, so we're against free speech. Everyone's against free speech. And if I keep advocating for free speech, I'm the one who keeps getting the maximum punishment, and they get absolutely nothing. And now the shoe is on the other.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking wild. It's like, dude, you know what I hate? I hate that, Jimmy Kimmel quite literally got laid off. His show got pulled for the stupid shit he said and for making fun of Charlie post his assassination. But then they quite literally go back and re-fucking hire him. Like what? So you're quite literally proving that you, Disney, as a whole, do not give two shits and will only do things to save face, but then immediately go back on them, sort of proving that, people are allowed to say these things and they'll get away with it with only a slap on the wrist, kind of like how Twitch only gives slaps on the wrist to people like Hassan and his orbiters. But, and it's kind of like the same shit here. It's like Hassan will sit here, he'll talk here, he'll slander, people like Asmongold and Tectone, and Tectone will get punished. But the moment Tectone says anything, for some reason, Tectone still gets punished. It's like, what? It's just so fucking weird, man. It's insane. And like he says, the left have been doing this weird thing of, oh no, your free speech isn't a thing. You're not allowed to say what you believe. If you say things that, we don't agree with, we'll cancel you. We'll go report you to your employers. We'll make up lies about you to get you fired. But now that the right has had enough and they're doing they're not even making shit up. They're just reporting you to your employer, showing them what you yourself are putting up on the internet of your own free will, celebrating Charlie's murder and dancing like a lunatic and cheering for this and saying that, oh, Asman should be next, or Trump should be next, or this person should be next, or go after this person, or this person, or this person. After that gets found out and people are sending that to your employers, all of a sudden, no, they're violating my free speech, my First Amendment right. No, how could you do this to me? Woe is me. It's like, what? Sorry, we're just doing what you've been doing for years. I thought you said, people don't have free speech. You're not allowed to do these things. You're not allowed to say certain things. But now that it's being used against you for the horrible shit you're saying, all of a sudden it's bad. It's kind of like how for the past 4 years, they've been like, oh, get rid of the Second Amendment, take away people's guns, de-arm people. People shouldn't have guns. The moment Trump is like, okay, we're going to start taking away the guns that trans individuals own because they're a little too mentally unstable, as shown by all the shootings that have occurred. All of a sudden, they're like, no, our Second Amendment right. No, this is a violation of our Second Amendment right. We deserve to have guns. We must have guns. Like, what? Like, why? I thought this is what you wanted. So, because it's happening to you and not the people you dislike, all of a sudden it's bad. It's just like, what is this fucking weird mind game? They're just sitting on this fucking merry-go-round, going constantly at max speed until they end up falling off and throwing up. It's like, what?
The foot. Actually, how about we both go to jail? How about we both suffer? And in fact, in this case, in the case of Charlie Kirk's murder, the left decided to spout off, thinking that they had free speech, on the assumption that the right was going to play the prisoner's dilemma with them correctly and say, yeah, no, we just have to take the hit from that.
Nope.
And the right has said, no, actually, we don't have to do that. We can now betray you, and you can just fucking screw you.
I think I sent that to Leaflet. No, I didn't. I saw this image, but I saw this image and I was like, oh, that's fucking hilarious. Then I saw another one by the exact same artist, and that one I did send to Leaflet. It was one of like it's like the media and the Democrats, and they're like, we all stand united against political violence with their hands being bloodied. But then when they show peaceful protests, and the image is when George Floyd died, it's a whole bunch of people rioting, looting, stealing TVs and whatnot. And then when Charlie Kirk died, it's it's literally people standing under a street light, huddled in a circle, holding a moment of silence for Charlie. And it's like, it's so true. All of these are so fucking true. It's like the left has constantly wanted to cancel the right, but now that the cancellation is on the other foot, now that the shoe is on the other foot, all of a sudden they're gonna yell fascist. They're gonna say that their rights are being violated. What a fucking joke!
Yourself, basically, and you can just fucking screw yourself, basically, which is what it's come down to. And this is a great comic because it really does summarize the problem that has been going.
Here, if you guys want to see the full comic real quick, that's what it is. Here you have
going on.
Like here you have the left. The gun is the cancellation, and the right. Then the right slaps it out of the left's hand, and they're essentially now canceled. The right is now canceling the left. But now that the right is doing what the left has been doing for years, they're crying bloody murder. They're yelling that they're fascists. It's like, really? Wait, but hold on a minute. If you're gonna call us fascists for canceling you over what you're saying, wouldn't that mean that this whole time you've been the fascists all along because this is something that you've been doing for years? Wouldn't that make you guys the actual fascists, and this is just, the consequences of your actions and all the stuff you've been pushing? Very interesting, if you ask me.
This is a great comic because it really does summarize the problem that has been going on for years and years, and the number of betrayals of the prisoner's dilemma. And it's got to the point where the right's just like, no, don't care. And the left are not happy about this. Oh my God, the US right claimed free speech was sacred until the Charlie Kirk's killing. Well, okay.
What?
Interesting, that. What's interesting, and this is
what a great way to skew what's actually going on. Look at the words that they chose. They won't even talk about all the shit that they've done, right? Of course not. Why would they?
Is representative broadly of left-wing thought on this at the moment, is we relied on you to do the right thing while we stabbed you in the back. We relied on you to be the dopey prisoner who decided not to testify, whilst we completely betrayed you over and over and over. And my God, you're not letting us betray you anymore. We're all going to suffer. In fact, in this particular case, we're asking you not to betray us. And suddenly, you're not interested in not betraying us. What happened to your principles? It's like, okay. It's just the irony of all of this, obviously, is that the left admits, it's the right that was actually those people who were protecting and committed to free speech, and now they don't care. And it's like, oh God, that's...
Yeah, but I mean, bro, the US right claimed free speech was sacred until Charlie Kirk was killed. Okay, well, you guys haven't been doing anything except trying to cancel us for free speech. Like, what? We'll say something that goes slightly against what you believe in, such as kids should be kids, and you shouldn't give kids fucking hormone replacement therapy, and you'll crucify people who say that, saying that they're transphobic, that they that kids that they're like just that they're transphobic, they're homophobic, all this other shit, that they're Nazis for not letting you, cut off the dicks of little kids, but and you'll cancel people. You've quite literally, if anyone speaks out against the smut that you're putting in fucking kids' libraries about sex change and about, books about how to give blowjobs and all that shit, all of a sudden, it's an attack on the right is attacking, is attacking freedom of expression. It's a book, it should be allowed, but you'll advocate for the removal of stuff like Of Mice and Men or Fahrenheit 451 or 1980, what is 1987, 1985? I always forget that one. That one's always the one that gets me. 1984. You'll advocate for the removal of 1984 and whatnot, and it's like, what? But then you'll cry bloody murder when all the stuff that you've been doing is done to you. It's like, no, well, you caused this. This is just the consequence of your actions.
It's fascism, isn't it? It's like, no, that's not fascism. That's playing the game as it is, frankly, intended to be played. Either you both accept that the other one shouldn't be betrayed in this particular way, or it becomes a game of tit for tat, and now you just don't like that the shoe is on the other foot, but the shoe is on the other foot, and why is it that the right shouldn't kick you with it? I can't think of a compelling reason, to be honest. We'll go through some of this Guardian article because it's just remarkable, absolutely remarkable, watching the side that literally wrote articles, screeds books, and complaining and arguing against the concept of free speech. Going like, well, I can't believe the right doesn't believe in free speech. What a bunch of hypocrites. It's like, well, I mean, I guess you're not being hypocritical. You are just evil. So anyway, they say, unlike in many other countries, hate speech is protected by US law unless it incites imminent violence or constitutes a true threat, but did not deter the nation's top law enforcement officer, Pam Bondi, who suggested that a print shop employee who refused to print flyers memorializing Kirk could be prosecuted. Right. So bake the fucking cake is what we're saying, right? Like, this was a free speech issue, and the left came down hard on the compelled speech. And they've had compelled speech for ages. Trans women are women, Black Lives Matter, all of these sorts of things have been examples of compelled.
Who remember when that cake shop didn't want to make cakes for a gay wedding and they tried to sue them, but the Supreme Court ruled that no, you couldn't sue them because what they were primarily focused on was religious cakes, and since they were a Christian since the cake shop owner was Christian and the cakes were all primarily for like Christian clients and all this other stuff, that because it was a cake that it was a shop that was practicing, freedom of religion, that they couldn't sue them and threw it out the window. Who remembers that? I bet no one remembers that. I do. I remember that subtle win for that cake shop. Oh, but the left cried bloody murder when they won. And they were like, oh, how dare you? How dare our government allow this homophobic cake shop to exist? Or how about another one? Who remembers that one bread store who quite literally its slogan was a play on words where they said they had the best buns in town, and they lost their shit claiming that it was a sexist quote just because there were beautiful women who worked there who were wearing the shirts that said the best buns in town in like skinny jeans showing off, their curves and whatnot. Then they lost their shit and forced the store to close down or change its slogan. It's like, what? It's so stupid. It's like they'll go after all these people. They'll go after all these businesses that they don't agree with, but then when it happens to them, all of a sudden, it's a violation of rights. It's like, bro, get the fuck out of here, dude. I'd say make up your mind, but honestly, they will use whatever it is that they can to win an argument. They will cherry pick, and then when you And then when you have an actual solid argument and you prevent actual examples and bring actual, statistics, articles, and actual information to the argument, they'll say that you're the one who's cherry picking and whatnot. It's like, what?
Speech from the left. So not free speech, not something that the right was happy with, but again, the dilemma has been broken. We're now in the position where no, we're just backstabbing each other until one drops dead, basically. And so, okay, well, now you're going to accept the right is completely in its own right to say, no, actually, you are going to bake the Charlie Kirk memorial cake, because compelled speech is a precedent that the left has set here. Anyway, Bondi walked that back because there were obviously there were lots of conservatives who were like, well, actually, we probably shouldn't be doing that, which honestly I do actually agree with. But still, the point being, I agree with it for my reasons, not because of anything to do with them. It's a remarkable turn from prominent American conservatives who, until Trump's return to power in January, had long complained of a censorious left-wing cancel culture, quote unquote. Well, I mean, we have been cancelled over and over and over and over by the left for reasons that, honestly, I think most people just viewed as totally spurious. And yet, here we are. The reason that YouTube has all of these sort of, rules regarding things that you can talk about, the sort of narratives you can talk about, is because when what's-her-face, Susan Wojcicki was in charge of YouTube, she, being left-wing, imposed a bunch of speech codes, which of course only hit the right. They didn't hit the left. And this was a massive issue. I mean, look at the amount of people who were banned from Twitter for various reasons, deplatformed for all sorts of thought.
Yeah, who remembers during COVID when literal doctors were losing their jobs and losing their licenses for saying that, the masks don't do anything, going against the narrative that, the masks are actually useful, saying, oh, masks actually don't do what people are telling you they do. Masks don't actually do this stuff. Saying that, oh, COVID isn't actually as bad as people are making it out to be. Like, if you're a young, healthy adult, you shouldn't really have to worry about anything at all. Only these specific age groups need to worry. Yet they were immediately, banned off of Twitter, banned off of Facebook, and some of them lost their jobs because of it. It's like, what? And all this was stuff that was pushed by the left. Yet, all of a sudden, like I keep saying, all of a sudden, now that the shoe's on the other foot, they fucking are losing their minds over it.
Things they thought. And instead of accepting that part of free speech is just having things said that contradict your narrative, the minimum possible punishment for having the shared benefits, the left were like, no, just deplatform. Like there are people with huge platforms, huge channels, who just got completely wiped off the internet over really trivial things that seem really trivial in retrospect. I'm reminded of Dave Cullen, Computing Forever, because he wasn't happy about the COVID narratives, and YouTube's like, yeah, 500,000 subscribers or however much he had, that's just gone. No, you're not allowed to criticize the precious COVID narrative. I was like, oh, okay, well, that's just the way that goes. So why exactly, now the shoe's on the other foot, are you not being cancelled? Why do you think you deserve not to be cancelled? I mean, like, in the wake of the Jimmy Kimmel firing, again, he wasn't cancelled. He still has PayPal. He still has Stripe. He still has all of his social media.
He's fucking coming back on Tuesday. Like, literally, I see it right here on my other monitor. Like, ABC pulled the show indefinitely after Kimmel's comments were deemed ill-timed and insensitive, but the network decided to lift the suspension on Monday after thoughtful conversations with Kimmel, and the show is set to return on Tuesday. Like, what a joke, man. That was 3 hours ago. An article from the CBC 3 hours ago, Jimmy Kimmel Live set to return Tuesday after suspension. So he's literally coming back as of recording this tomorrow. So when this goes up, he's coming back today for his show. So how can you say all this shit about cancellations and all this whatnot when Jimmy Kimmel, who said these fucking things about Charlie Kirk and the assassination and made fun of it, is still coming back to have his fucking show.
Media platforms, he still is going to probably be someone you see on television. It's just that his failing late night show was taken off the air because, frankly, it wasn't making money, and this was a good pretext for it to be done. Now they're like, well, I mean, I can't believe this culture has come for us. It's like, well, sorry, this is what you did. This is the world you made, and you've created millions of people who are genuinely furious and are happy now to be the ones on the other side of it, putting the boot in. And I love this. The left-wing cancel culture, they reframe that too as consequence culture. Well, who invented that term? Who invented that term? You fucking slimy pieces of shit. You invented that term. That was a term that was bandied around in like 20 years.
Bro, they'll do anything to dodge and avoid accountability for the issues that they themselves create. It's fucking insane. Genuinely. We see all those fucking videos of like one capitalist versus 100 socialists or 100 communists or whatever. We should have we should have the Guardian versus 100 fucking, not the Guardian, but we should have the left versus 100 accountability. Let's see how they would fare.
18, after people started getting cancelled for saying things against, like, you know, Black Lives Matter or feminism or whatever it was, woke nonsense. And they're like, well, it's consequences. It's just the consequence of your own actions. It's not the government censoring you. It's the private corporations. They can do what they like. This is consequence culture. I'm just so over giving a flying fuck about these people appealing to my morality as their shield for the shield for their bad behavior. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I don't care. Yep. You get what you deserve. You broke.
Yeah, they got rid of Charlie. Well, guess what that leaves you? It leaves you with Nick fucking Fuentes. Great. You like, it leaves you with people like fucking Nick Fuentes, who have even more extreme views than what supposedly the radical extremist Charlie Kirk had. You know, Milo is goddamn coming back and shit. And it's like, oh, wow. Good luck with him, because he doesn't give two shits about your opinions or your feelings either. He'll call you out. And it's like, it's so fucking hilarious how they want to how they claim that, oh my god, the extreme of the extreme, Charlie Kirk is gone. This is a win for us. Celebrations all around. This fucking insane radical leftists on the extremists on their side, pushing all the moderates and all the rational thinking leftists to the right, and then all you're left with is the actual extremists who are on the right, the people who are unfiltered, the people who won't give two shits what you have to say, the people who quite literally won't give a damn what your feelings are, the people like Niv Fuentes, the people like fucking Milo, who will come back and give them an even stronger platform. It's just hilarious, man. It's like, these are the consequences of your actions, and you're still trying to shift blame to us. Like, what?
The agreement. You violated the prisoner's dilemma. You decided, no, backstab, backstab, backstab. So one side gets the very maximal punishment. No, not on anymore. Not on. We're both getting the punishment now, until you realize that was unacceptable and you fucking apologize, frankly. Take some accountability for yourself. Again, that's another, this isn't cancel culture, this is accountability, is another way that they'd frame it. Nancy Mace, a House representative, sounded a lot like the progressives when she is often decried for their political correctness, when she declared last week that free speech isn't free from consequences. Yeah, where have I heard all of this before? Free speech doesn't mean free from all consequences, despite what some conservatives argue, says NBC News back in 2019. Like, you made your bed. Roxanne Gay, cancel culture doesn't exist, but consequence culture does. Oh, you made your fucking bed. You can get fucked in it. You can get absolutely fucked in it. You deserve everything that you're getting right now. Everything. You totally deserve it. Back in the day, I was like, oh yeah, well, I actually think everyone should be online. I don't think people should be having things taken away. I actually think at some point in the future there will be a kind of digital bill of rights which guarantees access to certain platforms, regardless of who you are, regardless of what you've done, because these will be considered something of a human right. And until we get
Probably not anymore. Probably not anymore after all this shit's going on. Like, what we really need to bring back is fucking insane asylums and lock all these goddamn crazies up who are cheering for the death of a man, saying that his kids should be next, that they shouldn't stop there. They should go after his wife and kids because they carry his seed, because they carry his mentality, his ideology. His blood runs through their veins, so they're just as guilty. Like, what?
until we get there, I'm going to in no way mourn for these people. You chose this. You thought you were going to be in the driving seat of culture forever. You thought you were going to have the power forever, but it turns out you don't. And now the shoe is on the other foot, the gun is in the other hand, and you're like, well, I can't believe this is happening to me. Well, I'm sorry. I can't
believe you've done this.
You don't think you fucking deserve it. This is happening to you. And like I said, I'm in no way going to mourn. And until you realize that you have violated the prisoner's dilemma, and actually you're like, okay, we are going to need some kind of digital bill of rights, which again, people like me have been arguing for a long time. So even the worst people online, like Hassan and
we probably won't get it because of the amount of censorship that's being pushed now.
Destiny get to keep that thing. So you notice Hassan and Destiny got demonetized recently. How does that feel, Destiny? Like he's hardly been kind to me when bad things have happened to me. And Hassan is just worried about being taken off the internet entirely. He's absolutely bricking it. And I'm not surprised because they have been awful in every way, shape, or form. And so again, we can either have the...
Yeah, I mean, you already have the CEOs of Twitch, of Steam, of Reddit, and of Discord that have to testify before Congress, I believe in October. So next month, they have to testify before Congress, and they have to, start answering questions as to why the radicalization of the viewers is being allowed to happen. Why they're allowing certain people like Hassan to just outright promote this radicalized political violence and these very much atrocious calls to action. Like, you even had it. He was even called out on the news. They quite literally quoted him when he said that the streets should run red with the blood of capitalists, something he said on stream. And he tried to justify it as, oh, I was joking. Can't you tell the sarcasm in my voice? It was a joke. You shouldn't take it seriously. Like, what? No, you full-heartedly meant that shit because you've still been spewing the exact same rhetoric.
Awfulness on both sides, and we'll just have to live, learn to bear it. Or we both get stabbed, and then until one side decides, right, okay, I'm going to try and do the right thing now, and gets absolutely shut down by the other. Or we can get to the point where everyone's just having a terrible time. I think probably best to go for the first one, right? The very first thing where it just kind of sucks that guy said that thing. Okay, I don't like him. I'm just going to click on something else and watch something else, blah, blah, blah. But so anyway, this is one of those things. Many conservatives are now championing a public campaign to get fired from their jobs any Americans who made light of Kirk's death or disparaged him in his politics and death. Oh,
good.
Like what happened during the George Floyd riots, like what happened in 2020, and Black Lives Matter riots. Sorry, get fucked. Just absolutely fuck yourselves. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I don't know. Just hearing a COD be like cursing and telling people to go fuck themselves, it just brings a smile to my face. It's like, it's like, yes, he finally knows what he's done trying to be the morally good guy. He's finally joining us in the mentality of, well, you've been doing this to us for so long, so now that it's happening to you, sorry, get fucked. You're SOL. It's not my problem, You've tried canceling me numerous times. Now that it's happening to you, no sympathy from me. Get fucked. I love it. I love it.
Swearing. But I am just so livid at the idea that these, and there's no point calling them hypocrites because they don't care, but these abject hypocrites are like, oh, well, I can't believe it's finally happening to us. A load of people who I know and liked were affected by this. It's like, yeah, loads of my friends were affected by this. Back when you were merciless towards us. Absolutely merciless. And so I'm not even celebrating. I just don't care. I just don't care. You get what you deserve, and you deserve everything that you get. So honestly, like I said, I'm not in any way going to try and be like, oh, well, guys, maybe we're going too far. No. Until they understand that the prisoner's dilemma of free speech has been absolutely violated, then they need to keep getting stabbed in the back. They need to keep finding themselves fired. It's just like they were doing to us. Until they realise that we're in this position now where everyone just does the maximal damage to one another that they are capable of doing, and actually that's not the most favourable way for us to exist, frankly, as a society, online or anywhere else, and they accept that we are going to have some kind of digital Bill of Rights, then no, keep going. They have to learn their lesson, and they're going to have to learn it the hard way. So, like I said, no sympathy from me. I would show you no mercy.
Yep, I agree. I agree with everything he says. It's like, why should we, like, they're celebrating the death of us, saying that, you know, people like us deserve to die, that more people like Charlie Kirk deserve to die, that they're saying, oh, these other individuals, you know, they're making another hit list of like, oh, go after this person next, or go after this person next, or go after Asmund should be next, or Trump should be next, or, you know, XYZ person should be next. It's like, okay, well, we're just done with it. We're just done with it. We're not gonna let you spew this fucking hatred consequence free, and we're now gonna just use what you've been doing to us constantly against them, against you. And it's like, now that the shoe's on the other foot, now that we've had enough, they're all of a sudden running scared. Why? Because they thought that this would never happen. They thought that they would keep getting away with these calls to violence against us, with this cancel culture against us, and that we would never retaliate. Well, guess what? We've just had enough. You'll never see any morality come from them, and we're just tired of our morals being used against us and just being immediately spat in the face when we try to, you know, come to a mutual understanding and mutual ground, or we're just immediately beaten down. It's just ridiculous. But honestly, like he said, no sympathy for the people who are getting fired for spewing all this fucking atrocious shit whatsoever. They deserve it. They've been doing it to us for years. Now that the shoe's on the other foot, they want to cry bloody murder. They want to pretend they're martyrs now somehow, even though they're not. And it's just a joke. It's just genuinely a joke. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, and all that YouTube jazz. Remember to be safe out there. Be careful. You never know what's gonna happen. And remember to believe nothing, question everything, and always seek the deeper truth, so that way you don't fall for articles like this that The Guardian is pushing out, trying to still shift blame to our side, even though this is their own. This is a product of their own making. Their own creation is now being used against them. Don't fall for it. And I will catch y'all in the next one. Later.